Welcome to the Comic Crib Podcast, where we decided to do a variety show today because, oh man, Spider-Man took a lot of out of me reading through that.
Spider-Man was a long time. That was a trip.
A good trip, but oh man, it takes a while. So we
read
decided
over 100 issues, so
yeah. So I decided to do where each of us presents a one-shot. And so I had us read the Fantastic Four Annual Number 3, specifically the first story because it's the wedding issue. Because the rest of that annual is reprints of older Fantastic Four stories. So would not count. So Chengiz, what did you bring to the table?
I brought a Transformers comic because I like
course.
Transformers. I don't know how much more I have to stress that I like the toy robots from the 1980s that can become little cars that you can roll around and flip back and forth. So
you mean the stars of the hit movie Transformers 1?
Yes. Actually, yes. Straight up. Which, by the way, you should watch Transformers 1. It's a good movie.
Stars of the hit. I know half the characters aren't half the characters in the book aren't even in the show, but I'm just gonna say it. The hit characters in the Transformers show, Transformers animated.
There are some in the book as well. Yes.
Much like how the annual we're doing from the annual, which is the preview for the upcoming hit film, Fantastic Four First Steps.
Honestly, that is like the one MCU movie I'm actually like interested in watching.
Yeah, I have like, all right, I'll be waiting for the reviews on this one. I might actually.
I may emphasis on may watch Captain America just because CGI Harrison Ford is a funny idea. So, but
I think I'll just watch the clips for that one.
But the Fantastic Four movie though generally does got me interested. Don't exactly have, the highest hopes, but at the same time, like, there's like so little we know about it. So
I hope it's good.
I hope it's good too.
I'm not sure it'll be so good, but I hope it's good.
That said, I do wonder what the hell they're gonna try to do with Robert Downey Jr. Doom. What the fuck are they gonna do?
Well, that's next year. That's next year.
But that's still Doctor Doom.
I want Mole Man. Give me Mole Man.
Look, the villain is gonna be Galactus. Okay, so we're dealing with him.
Right.
Out of the gate, really.
Yeah.
Well, at least it's the monkey paw curl. Everyone's like, we're tired of Doctor Doom being the villain. Give us someone else. Monkey paw curls. You have Galactus now. You got what you wanted. There's no Doctor Doom as the main villain. Well, you got what you wanted. There's no Doctor Doom as the main villain. So
I've been waiting for fucking Mole Man since Fan 4 Stick, almost 9 years now. Where's my fucking Mole Man? Marvel, I want Mole
Fan
Man.
4 Stick. I've been waiting since the first Fantastic Four film.
Like, if the Eternals didn't, do what the Eternals did, and basically just have the Kit Harington set to play the Black Knight, but not really be the Black Knight. It would have actually been really cool that instead of Galactus, Ralph Fiennes was the Black Knight.
Ooh.
For a Fantastic Four movie.
I see, and we could have gotten Kit Harington to play the Mole Man.
Of course, yes.
So now, what did you bring to the table?
I brought the half issue or the the 0.05 or the prototype issue story of Kurt Busiek's Astro City entitled "The Nearness of You."
I really like that one.
It was really good.
Yeah,
That
I
was
really like that one.
existential horrifying.
Maybe
I
it was a
really liked
girlfriend.
it. Oh my gosh, girlfriends, marriage. That is a terrifying experience.
Well, no. I'll explain. All right, so Magic, what did you bring to the table?
I brought Superman. What's so funny with truth, justice, and the American way?
Which was adapted into the hit animated film Superman versus the Elite.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also, we're reading this clearly in preparation for the hit future film in July, Superman Legacy.
We just so happen to have Fantastic Four and Superman with absolute planning. It just happened like we planned that out. It did not just happen like that. We planned it out.
Of course.
Also, I think Superman Legacy is now just Superman.
Yeah. It dropped the L title probably because they didn't want the Superman Lives curse to affect it.
So it's just Superman now.
Well, to be fair, the original Superman movie was called Superman the Movie.
Oh.
Yeah, but it doesn't start with an L.
But you know what? Hey,
the Superman Lay movie.
What about Superman Returns? That didn't have an L.
Well, that's out. Like whether you not like it or not is based on you. But like that movie came out.
all right. So since I am the leader of this ship, we're gonna go through chronological order, and I may just order this directly based on how much I liked it in comparison to the others.
Let's do the ones that you least like then, so we can go for the most like.
It's also the most interesting one because talking to Changus before. So we're doing Changus's book.
It was fucking weird, man.
Yeah! Yes, you're right.
All right. Okay. So it looks like the crew here is split because.
So,
go ahead.
So Chingus, why like 120 years or like
125 issues. Transformers is not that old.
This just felt jarring because it felt like I just picked it up in the middle of the story and I just like, okay, we're doing this now.
So this is kind of just a problem with IDW Transformers, at least because I want to pick a one-shot issue, right? That would be really interesting, but there's some other one-shot issues I really like. I just didn't know if you guys would be into it because a lot of the one-shot issues are mostly revolving around a bunch of minor Transformer characters, and I don't know if you guys would be into that or not. So I decided, the Death of Optimus Prime is a really well-known one-shot issue with this series. Optimus Prime is a character everybody knows and everybody loves, so I figured you guys would be more into this. Because I don't know if you guys would care about a robot named Hoist.
Optimus should have nuked the nails.
Yeah. but also just another thing with IDW Transformers was that everything is just so interconnected. Like even the one-shot issues all connect somehow to the larger story at hand. That's just an IDW.
We definitely had that with the Wreckers when we did the Wreckers.
Yeah, so that's just a problem with. I won't say a problem, but that's just a thing with IDW, and it just kind of seems to be a thing with Transformer comics in general. I would love to read the Marvel Transformers comics as I remember reading the first issue a while back, but it's been so long. But every one shot all connects somehow, and then like the second run of IDW Transformers comics, they kind of got boring, so I wouldn't really want to choose from that. Uh, and then the latest series run by Skybound, there is no one shot so far. Everything is all interconnected. So like if you're feeling like confused, like you just got dropped in the middle of the story, that's because like that's just kind of how these comics are. All of them just seem to be, yeah, to just take place. Even the one shots just take place in the middle of a larger story. So,
If I were to give some of my like a kind of a gripe, I the one thing I really didn't like is you could tell how much IDW hates the idea of like volumes and lettering, volumes and numberings, because so like all of their all of their um all of their books are distinguishable by title, which is fine. You know, a lot of people would acknowledge books through storylines,
right.
but like it I'm always so used to just like, okay, you know, what story do I need to go to? Oh, I need to pop into, you know, the Avengers Volume 2 issue uh, 78, and then boom, I know what I'm going for. Like there's no consistent volume
Right,
to
I get you.
a lot of the IDW stuff, so it's like I have to scroll down to just find the death of Optimus Prime.
I get you. I understand.
Like when you said that it was the death of Optimus Prime, I thought you were talking about the famous Marvel one that you kept joking about. It's like
No, because even that, because like I haven't read, I haven't read most of the Marvel stuff, but I do want to someday though. Uh, but
so
yeah,
for
so like,
also Chengiz, since this is your comic, how about you sum up the story of
right.
this comic?
So, uh, so I remember not you wanted to some like context, and like Masha, you were feeling a little bit lost. So to be fair, to sum up like everything that got to this point is quite a bit. Like this is like, because this is like 125 issues, and again, like I was saying before, like all these stories are somehow connected. Like even the standalone ones somehow have to connect back to a previous larger story arc.
I got
So
the general points.
so
I didn't have
lo-
much trouble.
so basically, the main thing that's important about the context of this story is the war between the Transformers that that this series is known for, the Autobots for Decepticons. It's over. Like it just ended. It's over. It's done. There was it pretty much ended with everyone teaming up to fight an Eldritch Abomination in the last story arc that leads up to this, and so that led to a whole thing where basically now their home planet Cybertron, that was once dead because of all the war they raged on it, has now been brought back to life, and that's where we are now. So, Optimus did something with his magic artifact, the Matrix of Leadership, uh, to reboot Cybertron and all that, and then so now he's waking up and he's like, oh my gosh, where am I? I'm alive. I thought I was dead, but then he finds out that he finds oh, it's he's on Cybertron. The war is over, but now because of his actions, the planet has been like hard factory reset to the point that like everything's now like primordial. But on top of that, now all the people, all the citizens who left Cybertron during the war that didn't participate end up now coming back, and they're not happy. They're not happy at all. That's how you get the nails, the non-affiliated Transformers, and so uh, and so now the nails are here. The Decepticons are all literally held up in like a makeshift prison brig. The Autobots are scrambling because now they gotta figure out how to, get all these nails, resettled on Cybertron. But at the same time, they don't know what to do with the Decepticons. And then also at the same time, the nails hate the Autobots and Decepticons equally. So it's just a bad time on Cybertron in general. And Optimus just wakes up right in the middle of all this conflict. So, and so basically, that's the whole story. Is just Optimus kind of trying to wrap his sense of mind around what's happening, and then at the same time, this is the start of also the two. So this issue also is the start of two larger story arcs that follows after this, which are all in their own respective book series. So you get More Than Meets the Eye and Robots in Disguise. Take a drink every time a Transformers series, book, TV, etc. is named Robots in Disguise. So, so this sets up the whole. It sets up those two storylines with the Matrix of Leadership revealing a map to outer space to these mythical beings called the Knights of Cybertron, and basically, Rodimus. I'm forgetting if he goes by Rodimus or Hot Rod at this point. I think it's Rodimus.
It's Rodimus.
It's Rodimus. Okay,
he mentions that he's touched
right, which leads back to
and
a whole
utter Optimus calls him
miniseries.
Rodimus.
Yeah,
Optimus calls him Rodimus. Bumblebee
that,
calls him
Rodimus. That led to a whole other miniseries with Rodimus.
When Rodimus showed up and I saw it was the death of Optimus Prime, I was like, ooh.
No, so spoiler alert for the end and all that. So this book is not about the physical death of Optimus Prime, is rather, in a sense, the metaphorical death of Optimus Prime. So the issue ends with the nails. They're being neutral. They're being a bunch of filthy neutrals. Zap Brannigan would be proud of Prowl's treatment of them. So the filthy neutrals are fighting back, and then they're straight up creating an angry mob. And so Optimus, in an act of what he deems both selfless and selfish at the same time, he decides, all right, he believes that at least he says that the nails view Optimus as essentially a symbol of the war that they fled from. As long as Optimus Prime is around, they can't progress because Optimus represents the war. So if Optimus goes away, that means even while the physical war is over, the symbol of the metaphorical war would also disappear from Cybertron, and they can continue to live on, find their way forward. And so Optimus decides, in a sense of a sacrificial move, he's going to leave Cybertron to go wherever he wants, no longer as Optimus Prime. So Optimus Prime, metaphorically, is dead. And the bot he used to be before he was Optimus Prime, Orion Pax, has been reborn. And so, to me, I like this. I like this story just because, admittedly, I'm biased towards, the robot that turns into a red and blue truck. So, everything around Optimus, I really like. It is a shame what happens after this issue, but that's just a whole other thing with IDW, Transformers comics in general. But for here, I really liked it. I liked how they handled Optimus, and it is an interesting idea. Because usually, people assume once the war is over, Optimus would go on to be some leadership role of the entire planet or something. He's now the president of Cybertron or whatnot. But then he decides, no, his presence alone leads to too many conflict. So to help usher in a new era of peace, he's gonna leave. If that means, no more fighting. Which, to be fair, it's a really good move. At the same time, it is kind of interesting because like after this issue, like there's just so much more with IDW Transformers and Optimus Prime and etc. So in hindsight, this issue, while I really enjoyed, it is kind of so. Uh, but I but what I'm interested though is you filthy dissenters, the half of you. What did you not like? I am actually genuinely
Nightwing.
interested.
Just an asshole. Like you like on one hand he's like, yeah, I'll convince the Autobots to go with our ways, and the other and when he goes up to the Autobots he's like, go fuck yourself. Like,
Yeah,
what are you trying to accomplish?
I hate neutrals. Are you gonna say something? Not?
I guess to
Mm.
you know, to talk about being a part of your camp. A lot of what I like about this book, um, a lot of what kind of carried it for me, because this is a very short book. Like you know, like a lot of our books are very short. Uh, this is a very short book, and a lot of what I really like about the death of Optimus Prime is just some of the unique characterization I haven't seen outside. Yeah,
Mm.
because I'm not. Yeah, my admittedly my uh my knowledge on Transformers is limited to like just pieces of media that I've consumed the past years.
Like
Yeah,
movies.
like the movies,
Mm.
the three animated series I've seen, um, the what do you call it? The video games. Um, so it's interesting just seeing the some of the comic books portrayal of some of the characters, where
Mm.
a lot of their characterization is still there from other media, but they're highlighted in interesting uh, ways. Uh, like I like I like uh, Optimus here, where
Mm.
he is still, you know, he's still the confident leader, but there's an introspection in him
Yeah.
that that a lot of other media doesn't go much into. Uh, I like, you know, his inner monologue, uh, especially in the beginning. You know,
Mm.
him gazing at the stars, getting his bearings, coming back to like a world that he should be familiar with, but kind of feels a bit alien because uh, everything he once stood like he once stood on, it's just now gone.
Mm.
Uh, I like I like I like some of Bumblebee's characterization. Just I'm always used
Mm.
to him being like the little buddy. You know, he's Optimus's little buddy. He's
All right.
you know, the cheery folk, who you know, he's like ready to have a good time. I kind of like how uh, out of every single and out of a lot of the bots, Bumblebee kind of feels like he's getting cynical.
Mm.
You know, because leadership falls upon him,
Mm.
and uh, the nails are just not making anything easier, and it feels like he's just corralling sheep at this point.
Mm.
Um, and like the like the Decepticon problem is also another thing he'd rather think less about, because uh, like they're you know, because it's not so much it is a difficult problem to solve, but there's just it's a solution that just it's something he really doesn't want to see.
Mhm.
So he's someone who's really weighed down by a lot of like this responsibility he has on himself.
Mm.
And because he's a bit bitter because of it. And he's become a bit stubborn. In the same lane, Rodimus. Like Rodimus is he's like he's still like childish and bullheaded, and kind of what's the correct word? Uh, uh, I guess rebellious. I don't think that'd be the correct word, but
Okay.
where, but unlike say how he's portrayed a lot in the '86 cartoon, well, in the cartoon, the original G1 cartoon,
Mhm.
he's very determined here more than ever. He wants to see the mist for himself. He wants he still has a hope for everything, because like he should know because he's held the Matrix before, so
Mhm.
he understands a lot what Optimus is talking about. Uh, and like there's still that fire within him. There's still that like gumption that he doesn't want to just sit here and watch something. Like I don't particularly know if like in the show Autobot City is a thing or if Rodimus has always been a native to Cybertron.
Okay.
Uh, but like you get a sense of he wants to like he just he wants to kind of see Cybertron return to a stability, and he doesn't think
Mhm.
it'll be done by uh, pulling your hair out with the quagmire of the situation. Uh, and then there's just interesting there's an interesting line with their him and Bumblebee's argument, and I think my favorite part outside of the end is
Mm.
got to be uh has got to be we could sideswipes story of him abandoning neutrality.
Oh, that was Prowl.
Prowl. Oh,
Yeah.
that's my fault.
It's all right.
So okay, here
All right.
my main
Let's see.
problem with the
Uh-huh.
story is it should have been an ending.
Okay.
It like it's interesting stuff about Rodimus and stuff, but I did not like what they did with Prowl.
Well, that's just
But
a thing with Prowl throughout this entire series. So.
yeah, I do not like Prowl at all. He's like um I get it that they were trying to do something different with Transformers in this comic to try to make him not like make the Autobots not as bad, good, or Decepticons not as bad, but they kind of went too far with Prowl. Um, and then while it's good characterization for Bumblebee and Rodimus, right, for a continuing series, and I kind of figured it was serving as a launch point for more than meets the eye and the Lost Light stuff with
All
Rodimus.
right.
But I did not really like the characters, their interactions
Okay.
in the story. It kind of feels like B is so quickly to dismiss. Like, here's the, if Optimus Prime was the one who says, "Hey, we're gonna go and find the Knights of Cybertron," B would be 100% on board. But since it's Rodimus Prime, it's Rodimus. Oh, I am so skeptical. It's like,
Well, no, at this, well, no,
no, no.
uh,
Again,
well,
this is not me reading previous
I
Transformers
know,
stuff,
I know.
and it's,
So
but it's like, I get what they're trying to do, but the Autobots came out looking like complete jerks, and then the neutrals also looked like jerks. Honestly, like everyone looks like a jerk. There's no like clear good guy, even though this should be like, hey, the good guys won, but now how are we gonna next steps forward? It seems like, oh, the war is over, and now everyone decides to become crap, and then I like the Optimus parts and him dying, in a sense, dying by like leaving Cybertron to be, but essentially go on to do his own path, not having to worry about becoming a leader and being burdened with leadership. It makes sense. It's, in fact, I think it's one of the best endings to have for Optimus Prime's character, is that the mission is done. He is like, like in a continuity, like with like Elita 1 in a position, it would be like they both decide to go out, live on a planet alone, and like grow up a farm. Be like a man of peace. And it's like, I have done my war. It's time to be. I want to have.
right.
It's time for me to have peace. And
Optimus, like Thanos, just out on a farm.
Yeah, and he has a scarecrow of his.
Okay. It's a scarecrow. It's a scarecrow, but with Megatron's head, dismembered head as the top of it.
So, like I was saying, and when I was talking with you a bit before we started the show, it kind of sounds like a lot of your problem with this, again, with how you just want this to be an ending, is that what came afterwards just kind sort of recontextualizes this book.
Especially knowing what happens afterwards. It's like, okay, it's funny that Starscream ends up becoming the leader of Cybertron. That's hilarious. And they set up the scenes for that. This one also in this issue, where Starscream is like being cynical as well. It's like, on that, like, for me, that is fun. But then it's like, oh great, knowing of how we talked about how Lost Light ended, and then how Optimus becomes space dictator, galactic dictator.
Yeah, I understand, but so like I was saying, like it's kind of, your feeling for this book is kind of like how I feel towards like Force Awakens, where I think Force Awakens as a movie is actually fine. I actually think Force Awakens is a fine Star Wars movie. It's just, everything that came afterward kind of just recontextualizes Force Awakens into being worse.
Like, I'd rather read this than watch Force Awakens again.
Same. It hurts that it doesn't hurt that it's pretty short.
And at least it does something original, right? For an
Right.
ending. It doesn't
Yes.
end with like Optimus using the Matrix of leadership, sacrificing himself, and then we're gonna cut before the rebuilding efforts.
I get you. Yeah, but I don't know. I can't. I understand your points, Jano, and then like again, like I agree with the whole like this should have been an ending sort of situation. I agree with that, but I can't. I don't know. I maybe it's my bias towards Transformers. I can't be too mad. I think also just at the time when these issues were coming out, this was something that like hasn't really been done with Transformers before. So going like all these things, like kind of like this sort of like post-Nam situation going on, with Transformers after the war. This has never really been told before, and I kind of so I in a sense I kind of appreciate that they decided to do something different with with these fictional characters. Uh, I I think it is kind of interesting to compare. Sort of, it is interesting how like this issue is kind of sort of a bummer mood. I don't want to say outright cynical because again the ending of this story is actually very hopeful, and I really like that.
Yeah,
So
it's not the Optimus Prime story. So like the main thrilling story about Optimus Prime, perfect. I would not change a lot about it. Like it makes sense that if you were gonna have neutrals in the story, not have like a forced divide between Decepticons and Autobots, that there would be some anger towards Optimus Prime.
right,
And like, and heck, I would think this would be a perfect ending if they could expand Transformers 1 into a trilogy. Like, this could be the ending of the trilogy where they finish the war, but Optimus Prime has to now leave because of the consequences of being a leader and his failures throughout the story. Like, I can imagine that would be a good ending, but it's everything else with the other characters that annoy me.
okay. I I get where you're coming from. I I the way so like the way I kind of look back at IDW now is how things went and kind of cynical. It kind of gets a little bit more cynical and all that. I understand. The way I kind of view this, if if these stories didn't tell these when they did, then we would have eventually gotten them later. Like 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 eventually someone was gonna have to do sort of a Optimus Prime's kind of morally gray sort of thing going on. If IDW didn't do it, someone else would. And the way I kind of see it, like if IDW, and also it's like like this the shift in like these kind of stories is just kind of also like the mood of like just sort of like just viewing these fictional and cultural icons at the time. Like, it wasn't just Transformers. Like everyone got affected by this shift in tone. You see, Superman's killing now. Oh my gosh, which is funny because we'll get to that story. But like, it's like, oh my gosh, Batman. Oh my gosh, Batman no longer 100% believes in his no killing rule. Whoa. So like, Transformers just kind of fell victim to that kind of shift in like culture at the time.
Well, yeah, it was emblematic of comics, especially at the time.
Yeah.
Like, I can understand it. That doesn't mean I like it.
I get it. I understand 100% where you're coming from. But, again, this could just be my bias towards just Transformers in general. At the end of the day, I can't be too mad at these issues, especially Death of Optimus Prime. And I think just for me, it's just the central story with Optimus will always be like one of my favorite stories told with Transformers.
Yeah.
Wait, why did you, Chinggis, why do you think Rodimus didn't go with Optimus?
Why didn't Rodimus go with Optimus? Because I think because Optimus didn't want to. I think it's not Rodimus didn't want to go with Optimus. It's that Optimus didn't want to do anything with Rodimus. Rodimus is gonna do his own thing in his whole series, More Than Meets the Eye and Lost Light, trying to fight the Knights of Cybertron. While Optimus doesn't really. I feel like Optimus doesn't want to do that either. That's up to Rodimus. He's gonna do his own thing.
And bring Megatron with him.
Well, we'll get to that. I also I'll get to that. Like if we ever do that, I don't know, but like but yeah. I don't think it's that Rodimus didn't want to go with Optimus. It's that Optimus is kind of like the other way. Optimus didn't want to go with Rodimus to find the Knights of Cybertron. So
Ah, I see.
yeah.
Okay, so I couldn't think of a transition, so we're gonna go to the next one,
All right,
which I liked way better.
which is fine.
Which is we're going to Astro City.
I really like this one. Not this was really good.
This was really good.
Yeah, this is excellent. So now, why did you want us to read this issue?
So this issue specifically, there's a reason I kind of call it the prototype because Kurt Busiek, he said that this was one of the first books, one of the first stories he thought of when he was thinking of Astro City. I think it was he was yeah, he was leaving Marvel at the time, going to Image, and he was, essentially just like, because in general, Astro City is very much a continuation of Marvel's. It's has that same sense of the same sense of the city itself being as much of a character as the people who live in it.
When you mean by Marvels, is that like a comic in Marvel?
Well, yes, yes, the comic from Marvel. Kurt Busiek wrote it.
Okay.
Yeah, he did you want me to explain Marvels?
Yeah, I don't know much about Kurt Busiek other than he made Astro City.
So Kurt Busiek, he has actually a very interesting story. I don't want to just spend the whole time saying it because I do want to focus on Astro City, but one of his most famous works as a writer is Marvels, which is a kind of a chronological sort of viewing of the Marvel universe from the 40s all the way to the 70s, through the lens of a journalist, photojournalist. Kind of giving that sort of civilian point of view of how it's like to live during times where amazing things happen, but at the same time, like just absolutely awe-inspiring and tumultuous times occurred. Right. And Astro City.
And I assume that because of that timeline, you have like heroes age up as well.
Yes. You have like the first superhero, which in the book is not Namor, but is in fact the first Human Torch. He gets shown off to the public, and then as the years go on, he starts to age and starts to reflect on how he views the heroes that has succeeded him. But Astro City, very quick on Astro City. The book is an anthology, actually, about about the many different civilians and superheroes that live in the titular city, Astro City. And it's both Kurt Busiek's way of trying to bring comics back to his love of the golden age, because this was made like 95, 96. You can probably guess what happened during those times. And in general, it's sort of his ode to the superhero, because Kurt loves, he is a fan
Yeah. So I'm assuming this was just for the audience. So this is like more in response to how superhero comics in the mid '90s were more focused on edginess.
Edgy.
Um, yes. There's some stories where he does, kind of touch on them and kind of poke a bit of fun at them. But in general, I think Astro City can be best described as Kurt Busiek kind of playing around with ideas that have always kind of stood the test of time when it comes to Cape Comics in specific. Uh, to take the idea of this story here, the Nearness of You, which I can now go into a synopsis.
Yep.
The So Michael, Michael Topchik, a very ordinary man. He works a very ordinary job at newspaper print. He is visited by dreams of a woman that he seemingly knows a lot about, even knows her name, Miranda, but he doesn't understand what her relation is to him. It's affecting his social life in a way that he can't. It's affecting, it's just his social life in a very drastic way.
Yeah, it was definitely sad reading about him not being his work was affected, him trying to go on dates was affected.
It's,
And like he even it's like he goes, am I going insane?
Exactly. Uh, he eventually he tries to drown it out with more pills, but then a reoccurring superhero in the comic, the Hangman.
I liked his design, but that was a
very scarecrowy.
I like it too. Yeah.
The hang like the Hangman is really cool. There's a lot of really cool designs that comes from Astro City. That like obviously like a lot of the characters in the series are pastiches. So the the Hangman can be seen as like a specter or a gentleman goat. Oh no, not gentleman ghost. He's a villain. Um, uh, Dead Man. He can be seen like sort of an analog to Dead Man.
He felt also kind of like a Phantom Stranger.
Phantom Stranger. That's another one. Yeah. There's Samaritan. He's a Superman analog. Winged Victory, based on Wonder Woman, and there's literally a group called the First Family. So like a lot of the heroes are meant to remind you a lot of heroes but they all come with their own special kind of flavors that sets them apart. But Hangman comes in and he tells Michael, the reason you're in such pain and the universe in fact is in a bit of pain. The reason I'm here is because the woman you see in your dreams is your wife. He basically he goes on this whole kind of tale describing just the happenstance of a it was just like a supervillain who got tired of just having to deal so much with all the supers in Astro City. So he just decides to build a form of a time machine in a way where he can go back go back and try to prevent the heroes, but then he had to battle against the god of time. And in the resulting like kaiju battle, the timeline just started warping in and of itself. Like, cowboys met dinosaurs. Samaritan almost got wiped out of existence, and everything became topsy turvy. But of course, after that, uh, after that, everything, everything was fixed. But unfortunately, as he puts it, the chronal reconstruction was not exact. I like the way he kind of puts it. Air Ace first battle barnstormers on a Sunday, not a Monday, and as a result, her grandparents never met. So it is in a way it's meant to kind of poke fun at, but also examine sort of the idea of the retcon, where just this important character who once existed a long time ago just poof gone, and their history may still exist. Luckily we comic books still contain the history of characters that once existed, but the same can't really be said of real life. If someone suddenly existed and just poof went away, it's hard to say without much written evidence that they've ever existed in the first place. And so once Michael understands that this was what happened, the Hangman gives him a choice. Not so much as, well, it is a choice. Is like, now that you know what happens, would you like to forget? Michael says no. And as the Hangman just goes to leave, Michael asks him, like, was my choice different than the others who chose before me? And the Hangman, who's very usually just portrayed as stoic and stoic and just very detached, almost looks like he's giving him a smile and says, no, everyone has never chose to forget.
Yeah, I did mention that this story has like an existential horror, and it's the idea of basically your history getting wiped out, getting changed by that removal of a person. Is like somebody that there's a horror element of this guy had the love of his life taken away, and it wasn't his fault, and it wasn't like a broke down relationship. It's just this cosmic event that happened because some guy decided to mess with time.
Exactly. It's it's almost sort of like a dark joke where she wasn't taken from him like by some accident that could have been prevented. She was literally taken from him by forces beyond his understanding.
But I did like that ending where he chose to remember. It's like it kind of, it is definitely kind of hard show up like if I was in that situation, I don't know if I would actually say I want to forget or remember. I think it's like one of those strength of character moments, because like he is choosing to live in a world where he only knows about this one person exists, and every time he would bring it up, he's going to be viewed as a crazy person.
Yes.
And there is no way of him finding a way to fix it. So like he can't go back in time. He can't do any like invented time travel. He doesn't have the skills or the knowledge to do time shenanigans to bring back his wife. And the only way he can forget is by being a drug addict.
Yeah.
How about you? How about you two, Master Kuchangas? What do you think of this issue?
I just really liked it.
I thought it was sad. It was really well written.
It was really well written. I really like the ending. How, like he's gonna continue to have these, the same dream of her forever in his mind, but at the same time, like it's no longer. I like that. At least to me, like the implications, like it's no longer gonna be haunting him. Like he's made peace with it, because oh, that was his wife, and and he, like it's like that's a like the mystery behind it is over. He solved it, and like so he's no longer being troubled by it. Like it's like it really is just it really is just but at the same time there is kind of a sad implication that like he'll probably never find love like that ever again, because all he will ever think of going forever until like death is her. So
It also gives him a chance to move on.
Maybe there is a chance. Maybe there is a chance to move on. Maybe not.
Like in my in like the stuff I'm training, to become a pastor is this is definitely like a therapeutic moment on that, and it's much like grief. Like we had to talk about grief because you have to be part of people's deaths and what happens afterwards and be with them, and you'll never move on from the grief of losing someone or something. You'll never get over it, as we say. But there is a way that it's just going to be a part of you, that the pain is going to be you're going to get used to it. Like there's a moment where on the road to recovery there's a point where a person with like a lost loved one would get to the point where saying, she was my wife, he was my husband. Because for a period it's still going to be is, because acknowledging the was is painful. And at least with this story, he is able to acknowledge if he gets married in his life, later in life, he is not going to be well, the memories of his first wife in the previous timeline are not going to go away. He is able to in a sense accommodate it in his own personal life. At least he has that chance.
Okay.
So one thing I do want to mention is there is technically a continuation to this.
Okay.
In the rebooted, like reboot, like the rebooted series, because Astro City is still going on.
Huh.
Is it
Busey.
any,
Oh, I'm sorry.
is it any good?
From what I've read, it's still very good.
Okay.
I haven't read a lot of it, but this is still a story that, like, if this is the only thing Busick, if his career is limited to only this, he'd be happy with that, because he still has a love, a drive for this series still. uh and yeah, like, Michael does come back, uh and
Oh, okay.
he's opened up a support group.
Ah.
Oh, a support group for people who have lost because of the time shenanigans.
Yes.
Ah.
Oh, that is wonderful.
That's nice to know. That's actually really cool.
Like, yeah, uh
Mm.
I love, this is uh, I don't know if I could say this is my favorite uh
The Astro City stuff.
of the Astro City stuff. It's up there, like, and it's something that, like, it actually, to me, it actually just becomes like the perfect thing that I can kind of recommend to someone to say, to maybe check out this series.
Mm.
Because
Yeah, this one definitely made me want to read more.
Yeah, I really liked it. Not. It was really good.
Same.
yeah, like it's I'm glad you guys, I'm really glad you guys liked it. It's it's a series that uh has won a lot of accolades, but it's never one that I ever hear a lot of people talk about.
Oh.
Because I think Busick in general, he doesn't mind that it isn't the most popular.
Mm.
He just likes that people still give, get the chance to go out and grab a copy.
Mm. Okay.
It's popular, cool.
Yeah, I really liked it. Not. It was good.
All right, I do it too. So, speaking of talking about another universe, um, and like the events of the city that involved ridiculous shenanigans. Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is my pick, and the reason I picked this one is I wanted to have us read another Fantastic Four. We started this podcast reading a fun arc from the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, hey, let's get back to those guys. And I thought, hey, let's do the wedding issue.
Mm.
Because they tend to be fun too. And oh boy, this was so much fun.
I liked it. Yeah.
That
So
is
It was fun.
really fucking old because the X-Men even have their old yellow and black. Not even.
yeah.
Beast is still normal-ish.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they got their like their colored costumes with jeans and are green and yellow, and then ice and
Wait.
angels and white and red.
Wait,
and
where
stuff.
was Beast?
Beast is the guy with the huge feet.
What?
Yes.
Yeah, that was original Hank.
What?
Yeah, they made him blue and furry in the 70s.
Changus, the reason Hank, the reason Hank
Huh?
looks blue and furry is because the first class actually got closest to kind of describing that is because Hank thought to himself, "Oh, hey, like I can make myself look less brutish, and so people can still, because the idea behind it."
Okay, no, here's the best explanation. Changus, remember the X-Men Evolution episode introducing Beast?
Yeah.
It's that story.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like,
yeah, where Hank was trying to get rid of it, was trying to repress his mutant genes. He experimented on himself. It got worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Hank has always been, I think
self-conscious.
Exactly. He was always self-conscious of the fact that, like, despite the fact that he's a very, very like kind and intellectual person, people just view him as a brute.
To be like he's also like, to be fair, like he's like, I mean, the funny thing is that he's one of the guys that have had the easiest time covering up his powers. I mean, just compare him to like Scott.
Yeah, like Scott, Scott can't go anywhere without his visor.
Or Warren, giant angel wings.
At least he could put it within a harness system. But so the first thing I want to do is just look at this cover.
Yeah.
And here's a funny fact. If you look at this cover close enough and remember the issue, there are several characters in the cover that does not appear in the story. We have Red Skull,
Medusa, the Hulk, Scarlet Witch.
The leader is here.
Everyone's here. Whoa.
Go up.
Oh, you can see this? Oh,
they put Nick Fury in there twice.
Yes, they did. And they have like a cowboy there. And then whoever this lady is.
No, that's I think that's Jean.
Yeah,
that is so weirdly drawn Jean Grey.
I know.
Because her head is supposed to be fully covered. Oh, and there's the manager. Yeah,
the old Mandarin.
Yeah, and look, there's the wizard.
The wizard.
The wizard.
The wizard.
The leader of the Frightful Four.
I
imagine like some of these. I have to read like issue 6 and issue 11 again because I think
I know Namor is the team up with Dr. Doom as they try to destroy the Fantastic Four by launching the Baxter building up into space.
Okay.
And then the other one is the Impossible Man.
Impossible Man.
A joke character.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like not exactly, but he's kind of in the same vein of Superman villain Mr. Mxyzptlk.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of like that.
Yeah, and yeah. Anyway, so what to describe this plot? Okay, Dr. Doom somehow has access to the newspapers in New York to get it pre-sent across.
Well, how else is a man supposed to hate on Richards?
Yeah.
Yes, he has to be up to date.
Yeah,
exactly.
So up to date that he gets the newspaper announcing the day that Sue and Rhea are getting married. So, once he reads that, he realized, oh no!
Go see the mall.
Go see the mall.
Well, it's more of like, darn it, Richard, my greatest enemy. I forgot it was that time of the day. That time of the day to make a plan to throw him over. So he hops onto a device. A device that is supposed to expand the already evil emotions of villains. So Twitter. So he accessed he basically did a Twitter campaign.
He has access to Twitter.
On every villain. Probably pretend if this was in the modern day, it would be him having bots. To every supervillain who has a Twitter account, they pull up their feeds and they see that Johnny Storm and the Fantastic Four are insulting them.
You see that's why.
You see, Richards. I am superior, for I have ratioed you on Twitter.
See, that's why Namor didn't show up, is because he doesn't have Twitter.
Namor banned it in Atlantis.
Along with newspapers too, so he didn't realize that.
Namor only uses Instagram.
Foolish Richard. For you can, as you have seen, your post got community noted, not mine.
It's like what?
Namor is a kick guy. He uses kick.
Namor, yeah, Namor.
He uses kick.
Namor used Blue Sky originally, but everybody started going on there, and he thought, "Hey man, this is getting too crowded. Ew, I'm leaving."
What I love about the machine more than anything is that it's the book doesn't really refer to it as a form of brainwashing, because Nick Fury would have kind of predicted that it was a form of brainwashing. It's like, no, Dr. Doom just made a device that amplified the the hate these people already had toward the
Yeah, and then I love it how it's so convenient. It can go through time and space to hit King the Conqueror, but still line of sight when it comes to people like Namor.
Of course.
You see, in Namor, as he is Namor, decides to be an asshole anyway and just sends his troops there. Because Namor is neither hero nor villain, but asshole.
Well, actually, the explanation is that Namor was out doing an adventure. It's his General Atuma who got hit by it. So Atuma went to war. But anyway, so to explain the plot, so after he used the evil Twitter machine that exemplified every villain's emotion.
Using Twitter.
Yes. So at the Baxter building, they're getting ready for the wedding. All the guests are coming in. Here comes Tony Stark. Here comes apparently a character from like a Marvel Comics comedic book as a cameo, as a voice cameo.
All right.
And then the puppet master trying to mind control the guy. Nick Fury stops it. Stops that plot. He runs away just in time for Red Ghost to show up with the monkeys to attack them, to get ready for their attack. But don't worry, we have to go to deal with the Mole Man in the lobby. And oh, good, the X-Men are here, all conveniently in costume. Somehow, like the scene was set up that Professor X was right there, and then as soon as the Mole Man show up, the X-Men just popped out of nowhere.
I'm just imagining.
X-Men, come to me.
Cyclops with a tuxedo, but he still has the mask and the visor on.
Yeah, and so they stop the moment gets up. They stop the Fantastic Four teamed up to stop the Red Ghost because Sue can only shield because this is the 60s, not the power level yet that she can one-shot the entire Fantastic Four team. Like Malice was not. She did not get her Malice persona yet.
All right.
Power level increase, because if this was modern day, the Fantastic Four has to now save the monkeys from Sue's store for interrupting her wedding day. But anyway, so all the men has to now go out to figure out what's going on. Meanwhile, they talk to their lawyer, Daredevil, of course, because of course their lawyer is
you can only have two lawyers in Marvel, either Daredevil or She-Hulk.
And She-Hulk was not invented yet.
So it's just Daredevil has a monopoly on Marvel superheroes.
Yes, when we need a cameo and a lawyer. So he pops out just in time to stop Hydra from sending a vortex bomb. And then it just spirals into the Ultimate Showdown. It's literally the Marvel's Ultimate Showdown. It's like Hydra's charged with a with a vortex bomb, and Daredevil to stop them just in time for the Avengers to show up, and then to come and tackle Captain America. And the Executioner comes around the corner just in time to be defeated by Hawkeye, and then fall in the air and saved by Spider-Man. And then it just goes on and on about just villains showing up because Dr. Doom has managed. We can talk about him being so petty in his one-upmanship of Richards. you gotta admit, he gets the job done. Like, if it weren't for the Watcher doing the whole, I am not intervening, but I'm giving you convenient time to find the proper equipment.
So,
Mr. Watcher, I thought you couldn't intervene. I can't. By the way, take your pick.
Mr. Reed Richards of the Fantastic Four, you need to come with me. I have something to show you. But it's free for you to take. I'm not giving it to you.
Exactly. You're strategically acquiring it to an alternate location.
All right. What was your favorite guy's? Well, let's split it down by hero and villain cameo. Characters showing up. Your favorite
For me,
hero and your favorite villain.
the most hilarious one was the Enchantress and Executioner showing up. Just because, apparently, out of all the Marvel Universe, she's the one who has beef with the Fantastic Four.
Yep.
What happened to have the beef? Was it about Sue Storm? Is she jealous of Sue Storm being hotter than her?
What?
Then Thor says, "Oh, Sue Storm is so beautiful. Good for Richards to have her."
That bitch.
For hero, I think the X-Men cameo is just hilarious. For me, it's not so much about my favorite superhero. It's just the most out of context cameos because here's the thing, Chengiz.
All right.
Nowadays, we think the X-Men as a powerhouse Marvel team, right?
Right. Yeah.
They were C-listers.
Yeah.
Wow.
Their comic was horrible selling.
Really? What happened?
This was the golden age of the Fantastic Four.
Ching is the only two comics that are selling at this point is the four or Spider-Man. If you're not either of those two, you get you get bread.
Wow. So what?
Like, you get sold as a book. You may have like hardcore fans enough to keep on the shelf, but
It's like the four.
When did the shift happen then?
Chris Claremont.
Chris Claremont? Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. As soon as he took over the book, it was soon after, and him and John Byrne were a team.
Everyone wanted to be the X-Men. Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
X-Men!
They built up that book to be better selling than Spider-Man.
Wow.
Yeah.
X-Men was the big team for decades.
Like, people talk about, like, when it comes to the X-Men story, during the 60s, the high time where people kind of says that, like, Stan Lee essentially came up with the whole concept of mutants as a lazy excuse because he couldn't think of any other weird comic book science way of giving them powers.
Stan, why do these guys have powers? Well, you see, there's the mutants. Ooh.
Pretty much. It's like, okay, how did they get the powers? They were born with it.
They got it through. They got it with their puberty. Excelsior.
Excelsior.
Man, this is a starting world opener. Are you gonna explore it? Man, like 30 issues, but no.
Wow.
We're planning on giving it over to Chris Claremont. I mean, it is a shitty book anyway. I mean, X-Men being big. Sure,
Well,
buddy.
here's the thing. Chris Claremont.
Sure, buddy.
I'm not sure if Chris Claremont was on the team yet because this book came out in 65, the same year as Spider-Man: The Master Planner Saga.
Oh.
So we're in the middle of the 60s. Chris Claremont does not take over the X-Men book until the mid-70s.
Wow.
I should mention 65 because because we are talking about like, oh yeah, just these heroes just have powers for some reason. This is we're also talking about Fantastic Four. There's also another group of apparently non-humans that also have powers, the Inhumans.
Yeah, they actually show up. I was listening to a podcast about this. They're going to show up basically immediately afterwards.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, they've already kind of showed up.
Like immediately after this annual, we get the Inhuman stuff, and then the Galactus trilogy.
Yeah, like that. Like it's wild to think it's like like after this it's like we're going to get to the Galactus trilogy.
This is also important. Also, like this is one of the few things in comics that's stuck.
Huh.
Yeah, usually they hate marriages and try to retcon it as soon as possible.
Oh,
they're fucking cowards for that.
Yeah, I think that's cowardly too. Oh, marriage, the status quo being changed. I'm having nightmares just thinking about it. Ooh.
Yeah, and then it gets crazy that like I'm not sure if it is during the Jack Kirby one or like the run after. Very soon they're gonna have Franklin Richards.
Oh, okay.
He's been around for what, the 70s at least, at most.
Yeah, the 70s.
So like a lot of the core aspects of Fantastic Four that you think of are super old. And they have not been changed much.
Wow.
The only thing they change in current time is adding an extra daughter, which gives Doom the most pettiest victory ever.
That's a very fun.
I will deliver your child's Richards, but I get to name her.
And I'm her godfather.
What's the matter, Richard? Your daughter, you come to me and you don't even bother to call me godfather?
I just look. It is like here's the Dr. Doom can be petty, but he's also petty because he's also respectful to Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards.
Like you like for as much as Doom really wants to rule over the world because he believes that only his might can make it make everything right. Doom really just there's a fun he has with the Fantastic Four. Like it kind of like at times it almost feels like he's the least malicious.
Like their relationship is like modern day Frieza and Goku.
Is what Doom's gonna call Richards a monkey?
Well, no. Like, so if you remember Dragon Ball Super Broly, he was given the opportunity to get wishes that, like, because they're gonna go get the Earth's Dragon Balls, and one of his henchmen is like, "Oh, do you want immortality?" He's like, "Nah, I don't want immortality. Overrated. How about impenetrable body?" But that ruins the game. What's the fun in that? Like, that's Dr. Doom. At this point, there are times where he's actually malicious over petty reasons in the comics, of course. But at this point, it's just they respect each other, but it's part of the game of the chess match. They're all like him and Reed are constantly playing chess over and over.
Right.
The day...
But it would be funny though if Doom just called Reed a monkey.
Well, of course.
The day that the Four entered Doctor Doom's life was the most important day that has ever occurred to them.
before
it was Tuesday.
It was Tuesday.
Like it's the Four. Oh, if you want a Disney reference, it's The theme song between Doom and Reed Richards is the Nemesis song from Phineas and Ferb.
Wow.
My nama nama, ooh my nama
my
nama,
nama,
never
nama.
mind.
Never.
I used to be alone doing evil all day.
They.
But
Okay.
So as much as I do want to end this by one fun fact. The first Stanley cameo.
Oh, yeah, that's right. But it wasn't just him; it was also with Jackie as well.
It's like imagine you're like I know at this time they're not considered gods yet, but imagine the makers of your world pop up and just be like, hey, we want to congratulate the two lovebirds, and then you're like Nick Fury of Shield just goes, go away.
I don't see you on the list.
Get out of here! I told you they were onto us, Jack.
Don't worry, we'll work on the next issue.
Don't feel bad, Jackie. Come on, let's go work on the next issue.
Speaking of next issue, our final issue.
Yeah.
Is probably the most famous comic of the selection.
Yeah, I remember watching Superman vs. Elite. So I like this one.
When people talk about famous Superman stories, this one issue is always in the top 10.
It is legitimately really good.
It is.
Yeah, for good reason. It is good. Though I do think the movie's better just because it was able to expand upon it.
Yeah, to be fair, 40 issues versus 100 and 10, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
We got a lot more time.
It's interesting how much, like, in hindsight, how much this comic this comic is kind of brought up with one of some of the definitive storylines of Superman. But I but in the same time, I've heard very few people ever talk about Joe Kelly's run of Action Comics, which he had a really good run on Action Comics. But it's like smack dab right in the middle of it. You get this comic, and it becomes a modern classic.
Get some movie.
Yeah.
I think it helps because this was in the 2000s, right?
It was like the late 90s.
Late 90s. This is earlier.
Really?
This feels like a story that could be in the 2000s.
Oh, wait. No, I'm I'm sorry. I'm on something. It's actually 2002 because 3 years later, Joe Kelly would make
2001.
2001 because
2000. Wait, 2001. Okay, what month?
March.
Wow.
Of Joe Kelly, in 3 years, Joe Kelly would make Ben 10. So.
Oh
shit.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
he was part of Man of Action.
Yeah, he was part of Man of Action, but through his collaborative effort, Ben 10 would come to be.
Okay. Wow. I didn't know that.
The original series is better. It's the best.
Hey, Omniverse can be fun. I think Omniverse can be really fun.
Alien Force.
You can all be wrong.
But can
yeah,
I? Oh no, 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 I'm gonna let you finish now.
but yeah,
I'm
no,
sorry.
no, but like yeah, I was wrong because I get my dates confused all the time. Because
Okay.
yeah, like I often forget how much like the authority is like just a just like 2 decades old. When I
Hmm.
when I always thought they were like 3.
Okay.
So, Matchstick, since this is your comic, how would you give a summary of the story?
All right, so right now we're having a bit of a major incident in Libya, where a giant ape monster goes on a rampage, fights the Libyan military, and dies in a new group of super vigilantes called the Elite. Goes
I
in
was
and kills it.
I was actually caught off guard that the book just starts with kaiju's.
I found it wild that I just learned this, but right after 9/11, they printed this.
Wow, it's wild.
Um,
mm.
get some water.
All right.
But um, Clark Clark Kent, Superman isn't so happy with these guys. You know, they're going around just killing bad guys all willy nilly, acting like also a bunch of pompous punk rock jerks. Um, Manchester Black literally tattooing the British flag on his chest. Or was that an invention from the movie?
Like the Union
Didn't he have
Jack.
didn't he have a shirt in the movie?
Yeah, the Union Jack look. It kind of looks like a t-shirt, but it also just looks like he just tattooed like the whole thing onto his body. And and he covered like a lot of his torso, so you don't see like like those marks.
I gotta admit that's the most punk like British punk rocker thing I've ever heard. Just tattooing the Union Jack on your chest. Um, Probably why I don't like like punk rockers. So I punk rock. So
All right.
yeah. Um, but they do have an ideological conflict, and a lot of the everyday citizenry are like, hey, why don't we have superpowered people go kill people willy nilly? So Superman's like, am I old? No, it's the world that's wrong.
It's the Simpsons meme, but the difference
Skinner was
is
right.
yeah, but except Skinner was right in this case.
It's very interesting. I'm sorry if I'm cutting you off, Match. Uh,
Mm.
it's very interesting that uh, like it's notable that this book has like very few action. While it does exist, like very bulk of it is just Clark talking to his loved ones and his friends.
Yeah, and like it's him trying to process
Mm-hmm.
everything. It's not really a philosophical debate like in the film, right? The Superman vs. the Elite had more of that debate angle just because of the bigger runtime.
Mm.
And this one is a lot more of focusing on him and his arc through the story about how he is reacting to everything.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It is even so the ideology in it is kind of it makes like and it's all the more important since people just really want to. Manchester Black would have been like he's basically from the authority or something. Like, and that was really popular back in the day. And then
Who are the Authority? You guys keep mentioning them.
It's a comic book where the premise is superheroes who kill.
It's the Justice League take over the world.
Ah,
yeah. The like so like long story short, Chingus, Wildstorm, Wildstorm, they were bought out by DC, and
okay.
a superhero team they had, the I think the Storm Guards, I think they're called.
Stormwatch.
Stormwatch. Thank you. They got canonically they got wiped out by Xenomorphs. That's
I thought it was Captain Atom.
No.
No, it was Xenomorphs. It was an actual.
Wait, like actual alien Xenomorphs?
They did have a crossover with aliens. And,
That's funny.
It is kind of fun.
And is actually canon in that world.
It's that half their membership was killed by Xenomorphs, and I
guess the other half was killed by Captain Atom.
Yeah.
There's an arc where they have Captain Atom transport into the Authority world, and he just wrecks everybody.
Wow.
The Authority, what was left of the team reformed into the Authority, and they kind of this was under Warren Ellis, so he envisioned kind of this team that just thought to themselves, we're just tired of these people thinking they're thinking they want us to clean up their issues without actually resolving and learning for themselves to solve things. So you know what, we'll just give them what they want, so they just take over the entire world.
Wow.
And form try to form a better society. Warren Ellis was only on the Authority for 12 issues, and then it was later followed up by Mark Miller, and Mark Miller's run is the one that this comic book is really talking about.
I would imagine.
Okay.
Mark, like Warren Ellis, I trust to do good stuff. Mark Miller,
you guys don't
Warren
like Mark
Ellis,
Miller?
good comic book writer. Mark Miller gave us Civil War.
Ah.
Mark Miller,
and Ultimate Captain America, and the original Ultimates universe.
Mark Miller is the guy that's like a who's who of really famous stories that are all really overrated.
Oh, okay.
And overly dark and stupid
and edgy. He's he's one of those reasons why the British invasion writers should just stay in fucking Britain.
Okay.
And the reasons why the 2000s is overrated. I hate the 2000s comics.
You don't like 2000s?
Oh.
Wait,
this is the exception, and this is why.
Yeah, in the middle of Joe Kelly's run, a lot of the creators started not really liking this, despite the Authority being somewhat of a modest success. A lot of creators didn't really like it.
To be fair, it's being written by Mark Miller, so it's going to turn to shit. So,
well, it was just the philosophy behind it that was.
I kind of get Warren Ellis. The way you explained it, it seemed a lot more a bit like how Warren Ellis like can do it. Like it's a bit reconstructive in areas and a bit deconstructive in others. And then I imagine Mark Miller would just throw it down the toilet.
Okay.
It seems like a good, so from what you said, it it seemed like a warning against letting other people control your lives.
Yeah, like the with Warren Ellis, the authorities still, even though they took over the world, they were still people. They were still reeling from the damage done to them, and it really became like a hell is, the road to hell is paved with good intentions mindset. With Miller, like everyone just became caricatures.
Okay.
Yay. Okay, so but anyway, so Magic, how does the story end?
So how it goes, it's a bit all right, so sorry, I was debating on continuing the conversation from earlier, but Superman and the Elite have a confrontation where Superman fakes being dead and then fakes killing off the Elite and like just really easily.
Yeah.
And then he just makes a fool of Manchester Black on camera and he makes a Giga Chad speech. And it looks like the Chad versus the Virgin meme because it is.
Yeah, pretty much like I just love how Superman basically tore down the ideology of the Elite by basically showing what happens if he becomes the Elite.
Like this is the deconstruction. How I love this the sentence. How does it feel to be deconstructed? Because it just feels. It does feel really nice because that's what would actually happen if it really takes the what's the word? Takes the piss out of these edgy anti-heroes that people are always trying to make superheroes into.
And also, this is also one of those comics that just still stands to the test of times because we still get this a lot. Even with the MCU even when it was good, they still had similar mentalities of the Elite of how in the films they kill off villains and well on purpose. They at least even in the Marvel movies they tried to be heroic, tried to save people. They still ended up killing off henchmen and villains.
When was Superman versus the Elite?
2012.
Yeah, 2012.
Okay, so 11 years after that.
Wow.
Yeah, and then you got the DCEU.
Right. That ended up.
I want Snyder to be like I want us to put down. I want Snyder to be like Clockwork Orange, but with Superman versus the Elite playing.
Alright.
Because Snyder he just Manchester Black in terms of how he writes his characters.
Yeah.
I want Mark Miller to be. I want all the bad, all the guys that just really go into go into that, being like, all right, here's Superman versus the Elite. Your homework is to watch that 10 times and write an essay on how good it is.
Favorite moment I have, it still sticks with me. It's just, I'm pretty sure it's Mankey doing the art for this. the way he draws Superman in that full panel shot of just like he looks like he looks twisted and he looks malformed.
Mm-hmm.
It really just goes to show you like it shares a lot of the horror that Clark felt at the beginning of the comic that he's just inflicting onto like the elite.
Yeah, like when you see Demon Woman go down, you don't see her like normally like disappear and stuff. She looked like Superman punched right through her and she was exploding. It was brutal.
Clark was not messing around.
Superman takes the cold cast and just like, whoop, bye. You're in space now.
Go to space.
I'll collapse your lungs and then throw you at the edge of space.
Superman lobotomizes Manchester Black, makes him cry.
Even though it's revealed that he just did a tap so hard on his head that his powers were deactivated.
I know exactly.
He gave him a concussion, and it's like it's great. Yeah.
He gaslit him.
It's the frowning friends. It's the frowning friends.
Yes,
when he puts the gun, when he puts the gun to the when Mr. Boss puts the gun to the
hey,
and he's like,
no, please, 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 no, please, I don't want to, please, no. Calm down. I was just gonna shoot you in the head and kill you.
Okay, sorry, not.
Oh no, I was just gonna say another thing I'd like to add is just the Elite is a great movie. I really like how it expands on a lot of the material we're given. But I really like just the comic by itself. Because we don't really get a lot of time dedicated to the Elite. Everything is told. Well, everything is told to us by the other's perspective. But we essentially get everything we need to know, and what I like about Manchester Black in the comic is there are moments where he is smug, and having biting wit against Superman because he's viewing Superman like this giant stereotype.
I just love it how like when he was like tearing down Superman at the end, like in the film it was like the American capitalist, and then he just goes, oh, he purposes saying right wing way, and the comic makes him more like a complete pussy.
Yeah, like exactly, like Manchester Black in the comic feels less like he's trying to tell Superman, trying to convince Superman that his right of way is good. He's trying to tear down Superman, and he and when he ultimately realizes that he can't do that, he's turned into a shriveling child.
And then when like Superman just reveals everything, it's like, yeah, I've been gaslighting you. He goes into complete psycho. I'm gonna get my revenge on you. You worthless piece of, and he's like, good. I will still keep fighting. And when he goes on his final speech, as opposed to the film, is like, Manchester Black is trying to repeat arguments back at him. At the end.
If you think this is the end of everything, you're dreaming.
Good.
Another good moment. I really loved the moments when he was with Lois and his dad, Pa Kent.
Yeah, Pa.
You can keep your and the whole the holy there. And just that moment with him and Lois on bed, like them just talking.
It is really just nice and quiet.
Yeah.
But that was the. It looks like the Elite actually turn into Justice League members after this.
That's funny. Well, guess we're part of the league now.
Like they have their own mini series where like the league in general kind of just deal with their antics. I never really got around to reading them because I think like the Elite just work for this.
Yeah, I kind of feel like them as characters works better in this story.
I feel like Manchester Black can expand from that, but maybe not the other ones.
But yeah, like I don't want to read about a sympathetic backstory for Cold Case and why he becomes a crazy psycho person.
I do think Manchester Black is an underrated villain, though. He should show up more often.
All right. I do want to say though that so like this came out like you said like 2001 March 2001, but it's
after 9/11.
No,
the
right
old days.
It was
9/11.
It was quite a while before 9/11, but like it is interesting how like because like ever since something like 9/11, right, there's like like there's other factors, right, for like this shift in tone with like culture and all that we were talking a little bit about earlier, but it's just interesting how you can also see like this was also being started even before all that, but it's still interesting how this story, this type of story kind of stays relevant to this day.
Yeah, like you can apply it to, as I was mentioning earlier, the MCU films, the Zack Snyder films, like even with like comic books nowadays, it's like
just a lot of stories in general nowadays. It doesn't have to just be like just anything. Like this kind of like the overall, I guess, message with this story still still feels relevant. I feel like that cynicism is starting to go away little by little every day. I think we are starting to move more and more away from that kind of like cynical mentality,
which is very good.
It is good.
I'm so sick of it.
It is, and I think like I think stories like this is I think kind of partially why that is the case, because like, but I think also just in general like people are just tired that like cynical approach, and so like you see something like this where it's like a story that's just straight up addresses that cynicism and goes against it. Like it's interesting how that still feels.
I love that cynicism. Like it just makes you just feel awful.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time, it just doesn't fix anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we're the problem's the same, and now we feel worse.
Yeah. But then here, it's like it directly addresses that and goes against it.
And well, also also giving Superman a journey as well. Like the common complaints about that leads to cynicism is about like, oh, these heroes are too idealistic, right?
Yeah.
On that, but this story also showcased that even the good traditional heroes have their struggles.
Mm-hmm.
And this is showing, like, wow, Superman, he's right in the story, and he does use his powers in a way to prove his point. The struggle he was having was the internal struggle of whether his way was the actual truth, was
Mm-hmm.
the right way, as opposed to what everyone else was thinking that the elite were doing. Because the elite was viewed as being effective of stopping crime, but while he sees them are just people who are not control at all. They
A
just do
bunch of
whatever they
lunatics.
want. Yeah, like they killed the giant gorilla. It fell on top of the whole city block while at it.
The the lead is the lead is like the SpongeBob meme. It's like, we did it, mate, we saved the day, and then the whole city's on fire.
Like one juxtaposition that this comic book really kind of shows from someone like Superman, who's just, he's exemplified as being, the Boy Scout, and with the elite, is that the elite, as like badass and cool as they always kind of like to portray themselves as, they just feel like kind of hollow and empty,
Yeah.
as elements of like the world. They come in, they try to fix the problem in their own way, and they don't care what happens afterwards, because as long as someone is like idolizing them, it's enough for them. But Superman, it's a case that he's letting everything bother him because he cares too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the elite was like, their philosophy was, we will deal with the problem what we think is the real problem, like the root of it all, and we'll just simply get rid of it and not address how to make sure it doesn't tip over and cause something worse.
Yeah.
I like how in the film they showcase that in like the film version where Superman saves the missile so that both nations don't blow each other up. But then the elite says, "Oh yeah, we killed the leadership on both sides."
I think I made a meme about this a while back. I wonder if I still have it. Black, you retard! You just caused 2 civil wars.
Oh no, we just killed the people who pushed the button. Problem solved.
There's a power vacuum, Black, now. Don't you
Also,
understand geopolitics? So many more people died.
Yeah, and then they go, "Well, we'll just kill those people." And it's like, and then Ultron is like, "Oh man, these are my favorite type. These are my favorite guys."
You know what I actually kind of want to do now? I'll probably do this on my own time. I already rewatched Man of Steel like once. Well, I've watched Man of Steel like 2 times now. I might rewatch it a third time, but then immediately afterwards, I do want to rewatch Superman versus Elite, because it'd be so interesting seeing like those two clashing mentalities. At least to me, like you got Man of Steel, which is, it's supposed to be the realistic Superman, right? But then the problems with Man of Steel have been talked front to back. But it'll be interesting how compare that idea with the optimism that Superman vs. Elite has. I find it interesting that you guys say that you kind of prefer Superman vs. Elite over the comic, which is interesting.
It's mostly because of us. It's basically just a comic, but more.
Okay.
It like the benefit of Superman versus the Elite is it's not only just adapting a very classic story, a modern classic story. It also adds on to that by just also including aspects of the original series. George Bailey, is voicing Superman. so that
Newborn.
George Newborn. I don't know where I got Bailey from. Newborn, yes.
And then like it also expanded some of the like they changed Manchester Black's character from from being like a wimp trying to masquerade as a tough guy to being somebody who has a legitimate argument but is also a hypocrite with the addition of his sister, his MI6 sister, and then having the story at the backgrounds of the elites showing that they're saying that they are making arguments about being good guys, but they have criminal pasts on that, which kind of undermines the argument part, but it still stayed true to the original comic, because the original comic, like, just looking at them, they are more monstrous looking than in the movie.
I did notice that. Yeah, they look, that is the thing. But
I did like that. I did like that moment in Superman versus the Elite where they also took the fight to the city, to Metropolis itself.
Yeah.
So, and then you get like that little bit scary moment where, oh no, Lois Lane is dead.
Oh my gosh.
And then it's revealed, no, Superman used his robots to make sure no one dies. But it's kind of hammers home to the people. To people, it's like, this is how dangerous Superman can be if he's not restrained and he follows the philosophy of the elite.
It is kind of funny because
all right, Lex Luthor, space. all right. Joker, space. All right.
Go to space.
I do like that bit with Lex Luthor. That Lex Luthor bit, that was fun.
Yes, it was when he was president.
He was elected just a few issues ago.
And then it's like, Mr. President, what should we do? It's like, look, we're going to publicly condemn them, but we're going to sit back and watch the show.
We will write a letter that strongly discourages their behavior.
It's like, yeah, well, whoever's left, we'll deal with the aftermath.
Exactly. Oh, it's just me.
Because I bet, here's the thing: if the Elite won against Superman, Lex Luthor could easily take out the Elite. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, is Lex just built differently?
Yes, he is smart enough to challenge Superman.
Ah, okay.
The man could go toe to toe with the Justice League. The Elite are a bunch of pussies. Fair to him.
Like for Lex, killing is not the issue. It's how he's going to do it. That's the real issue.
Okay.
Yeah, like the thing about Lex Luthor is that for him, he can't just simply kill Superman. He has to defeat him and like prove that his worldview is right. He is the Elite on a different scale.
Okay.
No, if Lex Luthor really wanted to kill Superman, he could just lure him into a red sun room and shoot him up with kryptonite bullets.
He's a real hater.
Yeah, he's like Dr. Doom, okay? Like, Lex Luthor is the Dr. Doom of the DC universe.
Or, well, Lex Luthor came first.
Yes, technically.
Like Manchester Black is all about how he's real, and he's grounded, and he understands the plight of the common man, and all that nonsense. Luthor Luthor will look him straight in the eye and says, I am the, everyone will idolize me because I have everything that you wish you had.
Like Luthor,
the common man loves me, which is why I'm going to tattoo the Union Jack onto my chest.
Like Lex Luthor goes, I would go. Manchester Pride of the Union goes, the people will decide your fate. I am the people.
I am the people.
And then he would kill them all with sniper bullets already pre-planned.
Lex Luthor just jumps out and does a spinning lightsaber attack and cuts off.
Like Manchester's Pride think he could telekinetically stop him, and it's like, sorry, I already pre-installed this armored suit. I have a nanite suit that is impervious to your
unlimited power.
Unlimited power.
And just blows up. Manchester.
No, he throws Manchester Black off the window.
Wow.
You see, Superman, I could do what you couldn't. He ties Manchester Black into a rocket and shoots him into space.
To space with you. It's great. It's just me.
Well, with the image of Lex Luthor humiliating Manchester Black, that concludes our talk today. I hope you all enjoy this episode, those who went through all of it. So, I don't know what we're gonna do next, whether we're gonna start our new series or just do something else.
I think we should do a few more arcs, just like individual arcs, before we go
small arcs before any big thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm in the mood of like this year of like, let's just do arcs or one shots.
We got to do Superman. We got to do Fantastic Four. That's the requirement.
Yeah, Superman and Fantastic Four.
All right. Wait, Superman, Fantastic Four, like our long run series?
No, not like a at least one arcs.
Oh, for the arcs. Okay.
And then Green Lantern.
Oh, Green Lantern. Okay.
Yeah,
sure. I'd love to read a Green Lantern book. Yeah.
All right. So, see you all next time.
Go to space.
We're blasting off again.
We're blasting.